Interesting.
Sanctuary, built upon our community, support coming from across the globe. Wouldn't it be cool if you can take it further? Take yourself away from the screen and step into the real world.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It looks here he goes. Has no idea what's going on here, but we are live. Hello. It is week 3 of the Doink.gg weeklies, of course, in partnership with Sanctuary. This time around, I am Solar, joined by Psycho, he's decided to join me all of a sudden.
I have done. It's a pleasure to be here, Solar, and I know that entrance might have been a little unconventional, but that's what I'm all about.
Yeah, you've got to spice it up a little bit, and yeah, no, we brought it in. We've got a semi-final. Bracket's been going for quite some time, but first one is ready. It's playing Ducks versus Rotaryon Esports. Both of course going 4-0 so far, as they would have done in a single elimination, taking down some pretty strong teams on the way. I think we were looking at that one, especially Rotarian could have gave it to the No Chief, but they've come through on top.
Absolutely, and just to pay homage, if you like, to the strengths of the teams involved today, just overall, the whole bracket was entirely filled today, so 64 teams, and some of the teams that have been involved today are certainly those who are going to be looking to push for those top 16 spots for the RLCS and the likes. And some of the talents like Gelada, which you briefly mentioned, Karka, Kilero, Mingalism, Squixel, Hazo, and Monkey Arrow, just so many bubble talents today. So I think the games we're going to watch are going to be an absolute treat.
Yeah, 100%. Very much looking forward to those series coming up. Of course, we will be crowning another winner, and they will be getting a taste. I believe off the top of my head, $175. Oh,
$250
well, there
is
you
the
go.
total
Even
pot.
better than that.
Pretty massive. And of course,
Yeah.
a thank you to Sanctuary for backing that up a little bit. But the winners, of course, taking the primary haul from that. I believe it's 175, if I'm not mistaken. Someone correct me if I'm
Yes,
wrong.
I do believe that's correct, and of course 75 for second place as well. So even getting beyond this stage, you've done well for an evening's work. Really, the bracket has been going since about 6 p.m. BST. So what? By the time you get to that grand final, what, 2.5, maybe 3 hours work coming out with 75 quid? I'd be happy with that at my day job. That's about
Absolutely.
25 an hour. So I mean, you're a lot better off than I'm currently doing in my day job. So it's not bad, but of course you do want to be coming away with that winning result instead. But while we're here, while we're getting into the lobby, I believe both teams are in there and they're just waiting for me because my fingers are slow and I'm getting old. I don't look it, I'm 26. And at this point, my brain's going to start deteriorating. So I'm going to give you the prediction first, Psycho, and then I'm going to base mine off of yours. So I have less thinking to do.
Well, you know what? I'm going to flip it on its head just because you said that, Solar. You're going first. There you go.
Right,
It's a
okay.
tough life, isn't it?
Ooh, it is. It is. Between the two teams, it's a difficult call, but I think with just that little bit more momentum based on who they beat, I'm going to go Rotarian on this one over playing Ducks.
Yeah, and I think they're also going to be fan favourites today as well, coming in as a Norwegian side. I'm sure they've got plenty of support behind everyone behind the scenes today. But playing Ducks is a team that was seeded on paper to be one of the teams that was considered to make it the distance. And I think the players they have individually are ones that have proven themselves to do well in leagues such as Nitro League. And on the end of Rotaryon, obviously they're a growing team which has seen success very much recently over in the Norwegian side of things. Well, just the Nordics, generally speaking, they are a very, very fearsome team. If I had to weigh it up and really place a solid prediction, my money would be on Rotaryon, but only just. So anyone's game, really.
Yeah, and it's looking like we're going to be in for a taste of one. Of course, that second semi-final, Yolada are in there. They're just waiting for one of two teams between Jungle Juicers and Five Arms, Six Legs. Two very good teams. Jungle Juicers, of course, a more familiar name in the sort of weekly tournaments of the past, at the very least, year. Off the top of my head, it's Regzer that's really sort of been keeping that name alive, and of course, Five Arms, Six Legs with Lorelei, Triton, and Ashley on that team there as well. So I think they have also committed that roster for the upcoming open qualifiers for RLCS as well. I would imagine Jungle Juicers will probably be the same, but I hadn't personally seen that pop up in my own Twitter feed for that one. But Five Arms, Six Legs will be looking at that open qualifier. And this tournament, of course, will serve as a warm up for what's to come this weekend.
Absolutely so, and like you mentioned, I think that roster of Jungle Juices is one that is very much changing week in week out. So that's usually front run by Tossis, and today he's got some different teammates to what he had last week. And I believe Jungle Juices actually finished second in the last Doink Weekly, which is one heck of an accomplishment given the teams that were involved. And today he's come in with a fresh roster entirely of Energizer and Regza flanking him, both two very well respected players in their own right. Energizer I've not seen too much of recently. Regza, a player who's very much proven himself, I believe, in the Finnish scene over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, that's what we do have at the moment, playing Ducks and Rotarian. We've both got Rotarian chat. Prediction is available in there if you want to bet your channel points. Not not much an offer for myself. I've only got the 350 in the bank, but you know, we're here. Might as well stick my money where my mouth is, so to speak. So make sure you also do the same. There's already 2K on Rotarian as well. So there is someone with us that really does fancy them, as we do have Rotaryon in the lobby. Playing Ducks just coming in now. So we'll just make sure that everyone's ready and we'll get this underway as soon as possible. It will be Playing Ducks in the blue, Rotaryon in the orange here. And we're going to start on Utopia Coliseum. Psycho, question. Favorite map? Go.
Favorite map? Manfield Night. I'm a simple man, you know.
Easy.
Even with all the flashy new ones coming out, nothing can quite best it. But even so, Utopia Coliseum is not a bad place to be. And it seems, Solar, we are finally getting underway in the first matchup of Playing Ducks and Rotaryon. Both of these squads readying their engines.
Pablo Bar's not here.
And
Pablo Bar is here.
Yeah.
What's happening?
So they were readying the engines, but unfortunately they hadn't done their sort of pre-maintenance checks. So I think there was an oil leak in one of the cars, and unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes.
Gonna remake the lobby. I must say though, on the topic of the maps, the new one, Sovereign Heights, is definitely, it's growing on me. It already looked pretty nice to start off. Manfield Night does hold a special place in my heart, but I don't know, Sovereign Heights, it's got that sort of FIFA Street vibe to it.
Oh yeah.
That nostalgia factor that's just sitting with me, that it's not letting me go at the moment. And I mean, I have a few people that I play with and they don't fancy it. One guy's like, it just seems absolutely massive. Like, it doesn't look proportionally right. I'm like, yeah, but it's pretty. It's pretty, and that's all I need. Like, even though, you know, you're focusing on the ball, you're focusing on the cars, like, every once in a while, you just got to take a little look up there. But we are now back in the lobby, game underway, and that is a big save early on from Kex to turn that onto the post. So not taking long to get into this one as it goes right down the other end. Brookie there to make the save. This is going to be a scramble back. It's chaos to start out here in the semi-final.
Absolutely so, and both of these teams showing a little bit of volatility, it must be said, early on. I thought I was about to witness 2 goals in the span of about 15 seconds, so utter chaos so far, and hopefully we can continue to see that.
To enjoy some end-to-end stuff. A lot of these games, especially at the higher level as well, can be a really tentative start. You try to feel out your opponents, you not throw too much at it, and the first minute tends to come and go without much action. No goal yet to speak of here in this semi-final, but big chances at both ends. Both teams really try to force the issue here as Pablo Bar forces to the corner. Manages to pick this ball up, pops off there. Well, that's a big demo from Kex. Gets up nice and high for that one. Manages to change hands in possession, but not for long. Pablo Bar looking for the double down. Almost has the angle. Crossbar, post, and out. Denied.
Such a demanding opportunity on the end of Rotaryon, but very much similar to the start of this individual game. It's come back to bite them on the counter-attack, and it was actually Kex who laid it down for a teammate who blasted it into that pretty much open space that Rotaryon had gifted them there.
Yeah, end-to-end stuff here at the moment. It will be Playing Ducks with that opening goal through Kex. Havens pick this ball up, looks to carry on. Pablo Bar to take over. Double again, misses the contact this time around. No such luck. It's Kex. Takes his time. Plays that ball high. A lot of boosts in the tank. Could be beaten by Haven. Opts to leave that one for the rotating Miho in there. Brookie into the middle. Lovely ball. Pablo Bar shut down. Looking for the read on that backboard. No such luck again. And it's just not quite coming through for Rotaryon. They've had their chances. Just can't seem to find the back of the net.
Absolutely, and they were almost punished straight after as well. One of very similar counter-attack to what we witnessed just minutes prior when that first goal found its way in. Nonetheless, it seems to be Rotaryon who are establishing this early aggression and really controlling the tempo of the game early on. But of course, both of these teams in a best-of-3 situation, you know they're not going to be throwing absolutely everything, including the kitchen sink, to try and push their agenda.
Taking his time here, Pablo Bar. He's had a fair share of action in the early stages of this game. Half of it gone, just the one goal in it. Chance here, Brookie, not enough boost to get round that ball in time to get the shot off. Pablo Bar looking for the Doomsday dish, hits it just that little bit too early, comes out off the backboard. The possession still with Rotaryon here. Mio finally turns it over, goes up, gets a touch, not much left in the tank though. We have to recycle the ball, comes back on the wall. Pablo Bar gets up early, long ball down, but no one to follow for Rotaryon this time around. Plain Ducks have handed this one away. Pablo Bar looking for another double. Gets it into the corner, but not much further, and shut down was the attempt by Haven. As Mio carries that up the wall, just a minute and 33. Another chance here for Haven. Drops into a dangerous area. 2 players with, and it's going to have to come back the way. One more by Pablo Bar, and he cannot find the net once more. It's just high this time, and another chance cycle goes begging.
Yeah, and he absolutely rips a shot forwards, but well, the crossbar and the backboard did all of the hard work to see that opportunity clear, as Haven's going to try and work his way forwards, but only as far as that last player on his blue side, as the last man gets bumped out viciously there from the end of Plain Ducks. So I believe are just trying to establish a little bit more midfield control. As Brookie on the backboard now is going to collect this one nicely and try and find a teammate on the other end. A nice interception from Plain Ducks, and they're just going to sit nice and deep and try and absorb this pressure.
They've done a fantastic job of that so far this game. Only having had 3 shots in comparison to Rotaryon's 10. They are the ones that hold the lead. Keck's got a chance here. It's just high that top right-hand corner. Another quick counter-attack. This time it does not come off. They've just got 25 seconds to hold on to this one. Kex gets there quickest again. That ball's going to come middle. A chance here. Miho up into the roof. Cleared nice and early there by Brookie. It's still in this corner though. 10 seconds to get the ball downfield. Keep it up and get themselves an equalizer here in game number 1. Kex drops it to the corner. It's a big clear from Miho. Pablo Bar has a lot of work to do here. It's not going to be enough. And Plain Ducks take game number 1.
Almost unconventionally as well, almost against the run of play, as is often said in Rocket League. There's a bunch of teams who, even when they think they're in the driver's seat, can end up falling when it matters the most. Unfortunately for Rotaryon, even though they did have most of that midfield control, that midfield presence and that aggression going forward, as you said, 10 shots, that was still the number to their names by the end of the game, and yet they couldn't even push one across the goal line.
Yeah, absolutely. A few big chances. I think Pablo Bar gets unlucky with the double tap, comes back out of the crossbar and then the post. But there's another few opportunities where just the shots aren't quite on target. They're doing well to keep the pressure on, to give themselves those chances, but it's the shooting accuracy that has let them down. Because as we say, 10 shots, but only 5 saves for Plain Ducks. So it does leave questions to be asked as to really how that game could have gone had they sort of fined the mark a little bit more. It seems like it could have been a complete and utter blowout for Rotaryon, but they find themselves 1-0 down in this semi-final and could see their run ended in 5 more minutes. So look to start here on the front foot. Haven bumped off the ball there by a defending player of Plain Ducks, was Miho, to make the save eventually, but it was all too easy. Just picked it up off the bum. That's an interesting fake. It doesn't quite come out. 7 stands tall there and saves on what is just a gamble, and that one's going to come back out of the upright, and a breakaway chance for Miho. It's not enough on the flick, but it's another huge couple chances for Rotaryon as they still search for their first goal of this semi-final.
We could have seen 1 goal on both of these 2 ends, and somehow neither have found their way in the back of the net. As Haven is finally going to strike on an unattended net there. The last player just happened to reach forwards and try and find any sort of contact. The infield pass is certainly good enough to get the job done for Haven, but my goodness, I'm not entirely sure what we've watched so far, Solar.
Yeah, two games that started with big chances at either end. In fact, you could have argued that Rotaryon had 2 there with that fake that was turned away by Seven in the end. Followed up by Haven's shot that came back out off the inside of the post. But they've done well here, Rotaryon. They've got their goal that may get that monkey off their backs and open this semi-final right up as they lead 1-0. 3:40 left on the clock as Seven will challenge. Can't get to that second one's going to have to let it go by. Big touch there from Miho, and Kex will pick it up. Infield pass to Seven. Good dunk on Haven just to keep this ball in the orange half. As Kex gets another touch there. No boost pickup though. Not going to be able to starve Rotaryon here. So look to try and counter. Another good challenge from Miho. This just extended pressure is something that Rotaryon were doing quite well in game number 1, but unable to convert. Playing Ducks now trying to do a similar format. They're down by a goal this time around. They do have to go searching on a little bit more than just counter-attacking Rocket League.
Absolutely so, and Pablo Bar was doing a good job of holding up that play in the air and just trying to force a 50 of his own. He's going to be the player to work forward now. He's hopefully going to find a teammate in Haven in the midfield as Kex. To the sidewall, he's going to try and follow up on his own touch and does so well to beat a single player as he's going to try and force a 50-50 on another player. But like you were mentioning, playing Ducks, they are now playing behind, and at the moment they're really struggling to find any sort of midfield control.
It's big touches that aren't quite finding the mark, handing it back to Rotaryon here. Another one that does so just there. Kex will eventually clear it on Mio to try and follow up. A demo from Brake is going to take that one away. Good touch here. Carried down by Brake, leaves it for Pablo Bar. Dunked early by Miho. Haven to the backboard. Seven waiting. Big one out to the left hand side. Kex is quickest to it. Counter attack on. But again, shut down. They're just not quite catching up to their touches. Maybe need to try and take a little bit off it. Look for teammates a little more. Because eventually, landing right back in the hands of Rotaryon, will recycle the possession, send it back down where it came from. But it does still seem slightly cagey from both teams. They are still trying to get a feeling with these one-goal games. It's just that little mistake that can do it. It doesn't have to be immediate either. It can be a mistake 5-10 seconds early. A missed boost pickup, a poor challenge in the end can result eventually in a goal. Could see Playing Ducks equalise. It could see Rotaryon extend their lead.
It's all still to be worked out at the moment, but there is certainly one team with more work to do at the moment, and that is Playing Ducks, who are looking to solidify the series right here and now, and they only have a minute to put a goal on the board to equalise, let alone push them the distance, as Pablo Bar on the counter-attack once again is going to try and find something past the defender as Brake touches back to his own backboard, and Kex already in the air, pre-jumping for that one, isn't going to make any contact, and Rotaryon seem to be fully in control at the moment. They're playing it slow, coming out of their own defense, trying to bait these 50-50s and make sure that risk is at an absolute minimum.
Just slowing that ball down, allowing your teammates to rotate back can make a massive difference in the grand scheme of things. Boy, that's a big double commit there in front of the box. Seven can't make the contact though, and Pablo Bar is going to clear this one away using the flip reset. Haven to take over into that corner. That is exquisite, and it won't go in. Two huge shots each game as well. Pablo Bar with that double at the tight angle last one. That corner read from Haven was even better, but it's not going to go in. There's a counter on. Is it going to go all the way? They've kept it up, but it ends up wide in the mark. Ducks have to score here to send it to overtime. The ball's still alive. Pablo Bar with a long ball down. Miho not a lot in the tank. Can only flick high. Haven tries to send that away. A big double commit, but Seven's going to get up quickest. It's still on here. Kex to the backboard. That's straight down. That's a chance. That's a goal. It's level. It's overtime here in game 2.
How? How is it overtime in game 2? I'm not entirely sure, but Pablo Bar just above his own backboard there. Couldn't quite clamber and stretch a fingertip to push that one to the side of his own net, and somehow we've seen Playing Ducks manage to find their way back into this particular game and potentially get the series done just that little bit quicker. But I almost thought that Playing Ducks deserved to get into the position they are now, because just before that overtime hit, Rotaryon were playing so sloppy after that corner read attempt that almost went in from Haven. Their structure was just completely out the window, and Playing Ducks certainly doing well to capitalise on that.
Yeah, it's one of those moments, especially on those 0 seconds, 1 goal. You're looking for any way to try and get that down. Desperation starts to set in just a little bit. You start committing too much to the ball. Just send one to go, get that ball down some way or another, but communication just not quite up to par for Rotaryon. They find themselves in overtime. 1 goal could send them out from Doink Weekly. It's all starting here. Playing Ducks fought for their right to get back into this game. 1 goal away from the grand final, is putting themselves in the money for this evening. Lovely little 75 viewers at the bare minimum. Ball out to this right hand side shot from Haven. Kex as well, placed in net, gets a clear, 7's up, that's open, that is going to be it, 2-0. This semi-final has been settled. It looked like Rotaryon had drawn it to a game 3, the 0 second equaliser from Playing Ducks, and it was all them in overtime. 2-0, they advance.
They do indeed, and they're going to be advancing with a very wry smile on their faces, I bet. I think even deep down for Playing Ducks, there might be some thoughts in their head that they shouldn't have pushed it across the finish line in the manner that they did. Rotaryon, unfortunately for them, just gave it up when it mattered the most. They needed that last 10-second solidity to find themselves to a game 3. But ultimately, it was Playing Ducks that was that team with that little bit more defensive solidity, and especially in a best of 3, it certainly comes into fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a long series whatsoever. And if you don't make those chances count, as we saw with Rotaryon there, that series is very quickly going to bypass you. And it's done just that. Playing Ducks, not giving up. That's the main thing there. They really, really fought for their win. Kept it alive for a long, long time on those 0 seconds. I'd have to say it was, at the very least, 15 to 20 seconds that ball was live, if not longer, after that clock hit 0. They just didn't give up. It was a mistake, ultimately, I would say, from Rotaryon, for that ball to end up in front of their net for 7 to convert. But again, that's that resilience. That's that belief that you have to say that, look, we're not done here. Until that ball goes down, we're still in this game. They've done just that. They've booked themselves a grand final spot, and of course a share of the prize pool for this evening.
Absolutely.